Yo, welcome to Coast Connection. Me and my boy MikeG down here in Tampa, rocking it. We got our boy Ali on, and we're here today to talk about art. We're talking about how art has went from Picasso to Monet to the digital platform and how we were expanding it on the global market. And you know what? You see a lot of auctions right now. They're online talking about digital art and those NFTs. And you know what? Ali, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing, my man?
Everything's great, man. Everything's great. Super awesome to be here with you, Vince, Mike, and to talk about art, man. That's like my favorite. That's my passion, man. That's my passion. So great to be here.
Yeah, well, you also have a passion for coffee because you were in Ethiopia. So let me ask you a question. You went over to Ethiopia. I think you went to Addis. I could be wrong. But like, kind of tell me, what was the experience when you went over to Ethiopia, man?
Well, I'll tell you, it's funny because I can remember making a call. Some things were happening when I was taking that trip. I'm like, hey, big bro, this is going on in the world. And you were like, yo, just keep a low profile and everything would be great. And you couldn't have been more right. You know, that the experience in Africa was amazing. You know, so people had to pretty much ask, like, you know, what makes a man show up alone and spend a month in Africa, right? And, you know, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia is definitely home. Kenya, Nairobi, Nyeri, Mount Kenya is definitely home. So a game-changing and very inspirational time that really gave birth to what is now the force known as Ali.
That's so true. And you know, and you know, you got a beautiful daughter. She plays soccer because, you know, me and you, dear. I'm all about the soccer because of Tori. But you know, you really shaped a lot of things, Ali. And when I've talked to you over the years, the one thing that I've always been impressed about it is people don't realize you're still young, you're still pursuing all your dreams, and you're just always keeping things in the right context. So, you know, what I'm asking you is, like, where is your journey? Where are you originally from? And how did you just end up in the Florida area, my brother?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I come from a great family. You know, my family is amazing. And most of them are in the Delta South, you know, and I got them all over the place as well. You know, now I even have family in Ethiopia, right? And but my story begins in you know, in America, man. You know, being an American-born African is really an incredible and unique experience. And you know, my hometown is Memphis, Tennessee. So shout out to Memphis.
Go Tigers!
Yeah, yo, Penny, let's get it done this year. Yo, and Memphis Tigers basketball is definitely huge. So you got to mention that. And yeah, I love my hometown. I love my family. And Memphis is a nebula. You know, a lot of stars were born from there, and I'm one of them. And I've just been out traveling, looking to represent, you know, the culture and you know, do art, right? You talked about my daughter, and coming out of the pandemic, like, you know, it's one of the things, the creative process is really, really awesome, right? You know,
Right.
Starting with an idea, you know, putting it to paper, and then, you know, taking it to a process to, you know, you get something like Ali #1 here, right? That's great. On the other side, like the hidden gem in it all, Vince, is like the exhibitions, right? When you're on exhibition and given the opportunity to like share art, you know, we are art, you know, art are we, right? And to inspire people and really reinvigorate like the love that we have for art, right? Because art is it's spiritual, man. It really drives our creativity as people, and I think that's like one of the coolest things for my daughter is for her to like experience with art and do watercolor and paint and have an idea and put it on paper, because our next generation, and you know this, you know, they've got to be definitely like artists as well, right? Technical, of course, we need that.
Right.
We got to get it done. at the same time, like art is very important. So yeah, that's what I love, man.
All right, so let me ask you a question. So, we got a lot of different artists in the world. Monet, Picasso, Van Gogh. I mean, the list is long, and everybody had different, brush strokes. Mike's got art behind him. There's always different kind of strokes. So let me ask you this question: is as you look at these different broad perspectives of art, be it abstract, be it modern, be it, Andy Warhol. So what are some of the influences? Because I look at artwork is attached to music. And
Right.
for some reason, I believe art and music are like this vibrant thing that just makes a person spiritual. So kind of give me a little background. Are you listening to jazz while you're doing art? Or are you listening to some Motown? Or are you listening to some Tupac?
I'm listening to all that, man. I actually got a record player right here. And I think I'm looking.
I know you didn't say record player. I know you didn't go old school.
Yeah,
Got
I got
vinyl?
some Aretha down there. I got some Marvin Gaye. There's a Kanye, right? But yeah, so listen, that's a great question, Vince. Like when it comes to art, like I studied for 2 years under a master artist, right? And I draw inspiration from a lot of different artists. Obviously Picasso in his block, his African block, right? You have Basquiat is a really big influence, right? And with Basquiat, it's like pay for soup, build a fort, set it on fire, So artists are also poets and it's like you said, it goes with music. Art is all of that. So my inspirations are like if we would say American, it would be like um, I'm drawing a blank. It would be like Ernie Barnes, right?
Okay, yeah.
The story of Good Times, JJ, right? He's a painter, right? And Ernie Barnes with his elongated forms of art. Obviously Da Vinci, right? Even here locally, Dali. In alley number 143, there's a giraffe that's present, and it also has a bent dimension that's coming from the planet of Jupiter, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's from Dali, and so all these different I draw inspiration from a lot of different artists, and that's the thing about art is like Basquiat had Samo, and we have Ali, and with Ali, it's really more about when you buy art, you're buying the story, right? When somebody pays $80 million for a Basquiat, what are they buying? They're buying a kid that's battling with mental health in New York that started out tagging and graffitiing, and
Right.
this is his artwork and his expression, right? So like, and Ali is very much the same. It's a story of an American-born African that like picks up and shows up in Africa alone and spends a month there and studies, for along the way, and finds like this emergence and this beauty in art. So like number one follows a discipline. Like this art piece has the pyramids of Giza, right, which is the ancient African past. Then it has the statue from Ethiopia that represents modern times, right? So you have Egypt and then Ethiopia, and then you have the optimistic, smiling African on a bicycle, right? Which is
But you're an average cyclist. You're an unbelievable golf player. I mean,
yeah.
Even though secretly I've had a couple good rounds, but not naturally. I've had a couple good putts in my life, but
a couple good putts. Like let's talk about the putt that Vince strikes from 12 feet out, and as the ball is rolling, this is 100% the truth. A bald eagle comes flying over the hole and he makes the putt, Mike. Like, this happened. This actually happened, right?
Hey, you can't make that up.
The man, the myth, the legend, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, don't bet against Vince. I'm telling you, man. It's not a good bet.
Hey, so I've noticed you got the bike behind you, and I noticed you're so Art Deco. So, you know, every time I talk to you, it's like talking to a GQ magazine model. So you did. So you put on an exhibit a while back. So how did that exhibit go? Because I thought about you, and you brought up JJ, and it was so funny. I was thinking about the artwork, the Sugar Shack picture in the show Good Times that JJ has.
Right.
You know, he's pretending that he's drawing. The thing is, you did your first art exhibit last year or this year. What was that feeling like?
It's you know, the exhibition is amazing. Oftentimes, you know, I like to like not be all like, you know, hey, this is this and this, you know, explaining it. You know, watching people interact with the art is phenomenal, right? It's cool to sell a couple pieces as well, because like when you get an Ali, you know, you get a canvas, right? And we design like an actual canvas bag that, you know, that you get to carry around, you know.
You got it's your brand, right? It's your brand.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, it's just like the inspiration that builds up to it. Like we talked about Kenya, we talked about the passion for coffee, right? And I'm over there and I'm on coffee farms. I'm in coffee institutions, like, you know, and they're so kind because they're allowing me to be ignorant and still teaching me, right? And so, you know, all that inspiration, like you'll always find coffee inspiration in Ali, right? There's definitely African. There's definitely also, like, I've also done other pieces that, you know, it's all about being like having a wide range and being universal. So, yeah, art exhibits are the best because I love to interact with the people. And
so when's your next
So,
one?
well, yeah, I was about to ask you, when's the next one? I see here, what, November, around there, right?
Yeah, November.
Bam.
This one here is really awesome. Like when you talk about art, right? You know, art is like the conversation I was having with the guy that's doing this show this morning was phenomenal. He's another artist, and you know, hearing stories about, you know, an artist sleeping in an abandoned building and putting their canvases up, and people coming in and they're selling these pieces, right? And they're living in these spaces. Factory on Fifth is in old school Ybor, and it's an amazing space. I actually visited this because, you know, artists, we go and, you know, we chime with other artists, you know, and I was like, yo, I've got to do a show here. And November the 12th from 5 to 9, and the crazy thing is the 1-year anniversary. So it's going to be an incredible show. I mean, you've got some very creative artists that's going to be there. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, yo, you got to come out. If you're not, it's worth flying in and really like checking out the
I gotta go, bro.
of this city.
I gotta go. I'll see you there, right? I don't know if Vince goes because
Ali's gonna be in the building, Mike. I'm telling you,
right.
Man. I've got some really awesome canvases there, and then obviously, you know, every exhibit people always tend to.
I like art. Art's good, man.
NFTs as well.
Hey, see, Mike getting out of me. Hey, I already know I have exclusive rights, so I don't ever worry about
that. So they play golf together, everybody. So I don't play golf with Vince. It's all about work. Yo, what's up? You got that done, bro? Yeah. We'll be good.
Hey,
I play my lane. It's all good.
You gotta have it.
Hey, you gotta tell them, man. Like 90% of our deals are made at Copperhead Golf.
hey, I'm telling you, some things do get done out there. Something about that green, right, Vince?
Absolutely
it's
right.
A great color, right?
Hey, so let me ask you this. No, I mean, Ali, let me ask you this. When you stand back and you look at things, and you're actually trying to end or change the dynamics of generational brokenness from an African American standpoint, because where you sit right now, you're an influencer. you are a major influencer. So are you like using social media? Like I see you on Instagram, but are you really using the platform that you have now to motivate, or are you ever going to host something with the high schools to inspire young African Americans, like at Robertson High School, some of the other high schools that are in the area that, they have good art programs, but, those kids see art as, it's a poor man's sport because, you got to, get someone to buy your product. Somebody's got to embrace it, but give them hope. If you ever thought about maybe merging and say, let me take, Ali to the next level and kind of partner up with some of the art programs at the high schools, because I'm going to help you out with that one.
Yo, hey, I love that, and I'm always available, right? One of the things that I know even you've taught me, the thing about wisdom, if you don't share it, you kill it, right? And for the what Ali is intended for is exactly that, right? It's to be like an absolute positive representation of African culture, right? Wherever that African culture is, if it's in the Caribbean, if it's in South America, if it's on the continent, if it's here, anywhere in Americas, wherever, like our contribution, right? When we think about the pyramids, our contribution is long-standing, right? We think about hip hop, right? That contribution, that vibration, like ripples across the world. And I intend on, inspiring the next generation of artists, because imagination and creativity is super important. So I look forward to all those folks, all those young bros, right? And young sis, right? That want and need, or just want somebody to come spend some time and inspire them to do art. I'm there already.
All right, I'm gonna share some of your art stuff with some of the school, different school art programs, and say, hey, this is an event. I think at some point that we need to kind of get you to come visit some of the different young artists out there and inspire me. And also, your story also inspires other cultures. I think sometimes that we lose sight of how we impact the world, and you do that on a regular basis, like not just by this, by everywhere you go. You're just an ambassador, and I try to tell this African Americans all the time, the one thing I learned being in Germany, being an African American in Germany, in towns where I was the only pretty much African American, is that you become an ambassador of your own society, but not by default, right? So I always look at it nowadays as if I could teach or give any message, like even with you, is that every time I step in front of African Americans, I'm actually an ambassador for slaves that never had an opportunity or a chance to make their lives better. So anytime I look at our situation and I look at what you do, and you talk about Africa, and it's near and dear to my heart, because my great grandmother, our great grandmother was a slave, a little girl during slavery. I'm an ambassador for her every day I wake up. And you're an ambassador for art, but not just art, because it's bigger than you. And you take it with such good responsibility in what you do. I'm not pumping your head up, but I'm being honest, man, because I've been around you a long time. You are constantly the professional and the ambassador of a culture that is still trying to figure itself out, man. And I just want to say thank you for that. Don't start crying on me.
I appreciate it, man. That's big, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I have a question, though, guys.
That's what's up, man.
That's what's up. I have a question, though.
Go ahead.
What's up with the NFT? What is that?
So, and look,
I had to pull that out.
For one, like, I gotta talk in crayon when it comes to NFT, right? The thing is, it's like, I'm not a professional in cryptocurrency or the metaverse or Web3, right? And I'm not gonna even pretend that. We talked about some of the artists, back in the day, right? You think about, the Warhols, the Da Vinci's, the Basquiat's, right? The Picasso's. Those pieces during those times, to have an opportunity or to be in the space with those artists, to get your hands on one of those pieces and what they were doing at those times, the dollies, right? It's really incredible if you were to have that, and then to fast forward in the future and then still be in possession of it. So when it comes to NFT, right, people just typically just need to know how to own one and like what know the benefit of owning one. This physical piece right here is the NFT is the same thing. It's just digital. So it's the artwork that's there in the metaverse is it's just something that you go on, you purchase. And right now we're on crypto.com, right? And it was a really amazing experience to get creator status on crypto.com because it's it's a platform that you can buy rare digital collectibles, and when you own one like an Ali over time, right, it gains value. Also there's resale on it and things like that where people can really monetize their art. So like what Vince was talking about, like right now, it's like a pioneer stage. The internet is a thing, right? And it's a space, it's a place. And in that space and place, just the same way we can create an Ali to hang on the wall physically, we can create digital artwork and you can own those assets. So the artist, right, does matter, right? Who you're buying it from does matter. And so owning a piece of artwork eventually can be very, very, it can be.
You hear that, everybody? You hear that, everybody? You buy it for 60 today, it's 1,000 tomorrow. Whoever knows.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, and look, man, no one today few people walk in and get a physical paycheck or get handed gold for their 40 hours of work, right? What's happening is it's like electronically you're receiving digital money. You go into an app, right? And you see that digitally in this account number, right? You have this amount of money. And if you want to like buy an album, right, on iTunes, you take that digital account number, you plug it in, and then you're listening to the album, right? There's nothing physical. There's no cash. There's no CD. There's no
right.
There's no tape. There's none of that. It's all digital, right? And so anyone that's afraid of NFT, don't be, because we're already digital. And when you go on to crypto.com/NFT and type in Nosami, right? When you click on it, you can pay with a debit or credit card, or any other type of currency that we also see in all the other applications. So the cool thing is like the Madonna of the metaverse, because an NFT ranges, right? Like my NFTs start at like $64, maybe a little bit less expensive, and go up to like $1 million for like my very first NFT, which is Ali #1, is $1 million, right? So different ranges. The thing is like for the Madonna of the metaverse, the thing that makes it the coolest is like it's like over 100K.
Right.
Okay. When someone purchases that 100K, those children you were talking about, Vince, like those people, right, will have more access to art, right? In Africa, those places that I visited, right, those farmers, like that money is gonna go back into like growing, like and helping and shining light in places that need it,
Oh yeah, it makes a difference.
Art,
Hey, so let me ask you this though. Bill Murray just went through an issue with his NFT, so I was gonna throw that one out there on you because it was coming. And that he did a big auction, hit NFTs. They did a really great job with it, but the security of the system. So I know it's still, and then one thing is still in the baby step forms of being able to be protected. So people shouldn't be scared of it. They should just work the platforms and trust that they will get where they need to be. Because I totally agree with you, is that the more people have access to something, I don't have to go to Paris to see the Mona Lisa. I think that, and then when I did go see her, I was like, this is it. This is all we're getting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Or when I went to the Louvre, the Pompidou, and I was like,
right?
This is it. This is all I'm getting.
Expect it to be so big, but then when you get the valley, it's like this little thing in the mountains.
That's right.
I was like, and see, that's the thing. Like, right now, we're pioneering the internet and that level of connectivity and social media. People are really tied in digitally, right? And I imagine that there would be a time that in the Harlem, Studio Museum of Art virtual reality space, that there would be an Ali, right, that hangs in that wall. So I don't know, maybe they charge people admission with their VR on and they get a chance to walk through there, and then wow, they see an Ali on the wall. And that Ali that's there,
that's cool,
is actually official, right? So to your point, right, when you think about the bank account, your account number and your PIN codes, all those are like layers of security that help to make sure that nobody has access to your money. Now, people get scammed digitally in their bank accounts all the time, right?
Yeah.
But we have the ECH, the clearinghouse, that makes sure that everything that's going is working. Like in the metaverse, there are bit miners, and there are ways to verify that what you buy and that it's the official document. But there's things happen all the time in spaces. People always find a way to do some crazy stuff.
All right, yeah. So as much as they're building, there's another group trying to break in just so they say they can do it. But hey, so you're an awesome guest. And hey, Mike, go ahead and throw it back up, man. You had it up there before we get up out of here. Yeah. This is when you're
through, man. Factory on Fifth. It's a great venue. It's the personality of this building is amazing. The artists are going to be incredible. Go to alleycoffeecanvas.com. Definitely buy a physical piece, or you can go to crypto.com /NFT. Type in Nosami, you'll see all the collectibles there. You can grab it digitally. You'll see that the checkout is safe and secure. You probably have to create an account. But yeah, owning an NFT is awesome. Everybody just dive in. The future, we're going there. So one day we'll look back on this interview and be like, yo, that was the beginning. All right, I'm going
Hey,
back.
Mike. Exactly. Hey, Mike, you got anything before we get out of here, brother?
What's up, Mike?
Well, shit, I'm going to be at that show. I want to try that. Maybe look into NFT, because I'm a stock man myself, but NFT is kind of new to me, But
hey, look,
it's been good.
Hey, if you go to Cash App, right, you can pay with stock, you can pay with crypto, you can pay with cash. Right now, it's all about what type of asset you want to own. And Ali is an asset, right? Every physical piece minted, it's signed, and every digital piece is safe and secure. It's on crypto.com, which is a really great platform for folks to own NFTs. So thank you guys for inviting me.
Hey, Mike gonna show up anyway because you got free food and drink, man. You know how our people are, man. If they, hey, you know how our people are, man. Lost of free food and drink, they gonna show up.
All right.
As soon as
y'all drinking coffee, I'm sipping with these guys are 100 years old and shit.
Oh my God, dude! Shout out to you guys, man.
All right, so Ali, before we get out of here, if you had to give any advice to any young person that watches this, and leave them with some knowledge, man, from the motherland of all lands, the continent of Africa, what would you give them, man?
Yo, peace to all humanity on the earth, yo. Because they all started there, and that's what made me go to Ethiopia. I fell in love with coffee, and I found out that coffee and humanity started right there. And I went to the basement of the National Museum of Ethiopia and saw our great-great-grandmother. And I say our, if you're a human and you're watching this is your great-great-grandmother. She's 2.3 million years old. And, peace to the earth, man. Peace to the earth.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, so with that being said, man, much love to you. Give my little niece a hug and tell her I say, hey, Uncle Vince, go come watch you play a little soccer.
Give my niece a hug, tell her I'm super proud of her too.
All right, I will. And with that being said, as me and Mike G always say, keep it rolling.